Hello, my beautiful and lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. Today we're taking a look at a really fun and kinda overpowered right now in the meta team composition that I've been playing with Scrims. We're running tryouts for a team that we're working with, and we're running the team composition a lot. It's really fucking strong. Before we start, first of all, I have a webcam somewhere here on the monitor. Do you guys like this? I thought I was gonna be a little bit more, personal in my videos. It's a little bit more fun, maybe if there's an actual human being on the screen as well. Or is this just not necessary? I would like to hear your opinions down below. I think it's a good addition, but that's of course my personal opinion. Another disclaimer, because Stat Banana, for some weird reason, after 2 months, still hasn't added Sigma to their fucking hero pool. This Symmetra right here is supposed to be Sigma. It's a Sigma placeholder right now. So the Symmetra right here is supposed to be Sigma. Okay, just so everybody is clear. Same goes with the red Symmetra over here. That's also Sigma, okay? Just so everybody has that clear. Now, this team composition is kind of a little bit to counter what's the current meta right now. A lot of time in Scrims right now, we see May and we see Reaper, or we see especially Reaper Doomfist, right? This kind of rush comp with shotguns, building a lot on the domination of 2 individual heroes with a lot of ability and a lot of sustain, right? Orisa, which has fortified shield, and pull and a lot of this kind of damage output. Sigma, who has his rock for stuns, eats his own shield damage, and then you have a Reaper that can teleport into backlines, deal a lot of damage, Wraithform out, has lifesteal, very sustainable himself. Doomfist, which can get in and out with almost every single ability, has one-shot potential, a lot of damage as well, right? That's the logic of the team composition that's being playing now. So what the team that I'm working with right now is running compared to that is this Pharah team composition. And we will see, I have some Scrim VOD footage here on Overwatch. And we will be seeing that this team composition full holds horizons against them. And it's really simple. So the team composition that's been playing here is a very brawling comp, right? They want to engage us, they want to brawl with us. We have swapped off our Reaper to instead go for Pharah. So our composition relies a little bit more on utilizing the Pharah's poke damage and crossfire to set up. And you can play this in 2 ways. So what you will see is the enemy team will rush stairs. When they rush stairs, what will we logically do? We won't fight them on stairs, even though a lot of teams would like to fight. A lot of team likes to fight right here on stairs. It's a choke point, right? They can do a lot of their AoEs down there. We don't want that. The Reaper can teleport into the backline. A Doomfist can do a roll up for here onto here, right? And then there's a Reaper in the backline, a Doomfist coming across while we are trying to stop a choke push, right? And the Sigma and Orisa is more than strong enough to do this himself. So what we want to do instead is we want to give some space here. Very sorry if you guys can hear. For some reason, somebody outside of my fucking building block decided that now is the time to fucking do construction work. They haven't done it all day, by the way. It's 2 p.m. They haven't done it all day, and now they start. I have no clue what the fuck is going on, but whatever. Anyway, so what we will do with our team composition is that we will just give some space here. We will fall back a little bit, and you will notice that our Doomfist stays with the main group. The Honor will go a little bit further back. The Doomfist stays with the main group, and notice how much crossfire we have right now. If the opposing team tries to push in on this, and this is kind of the game plan, if the enemy team tries to push in on this, it becomes very difficult. The Pharah will play very close and aggressive to try to just keep pressure on, right? If they try to push over here, our Ana can nade theoretically. Especially when we start giving a little bit more space, she can start landing nades. I actually think that we hold further back here so we can use this shield as cover. She can start nading over there. Of course, she also has stairs to fall back on. She also sleeps, so she can directly just sleep towards our wrist and most likely hit someone in this very narrow corridor. The Pharah will always be just pounding here. So notice how much they need to shield the front, but they also need to shield the Pharah. But the Pharah can't just easily, it's not just put Sigma shield on her, because she can very easily maneuver around that. The nades of the Ana also needs to get blocked. We have a lot more sustain than them right now, and a lot more utility. And the same thing, if they try to like Doomfist punch in on us, we have a counter Doomfist punch. On top of the fact that our Doomfist can easily ledge slam or engage with rocket punch and do his combos on the enemy team. We just want them outside of this room. We want them to start pushing outside of here so we can start using our Pharah more efficiently, our Doomfist more efficiently, and Armor more efficiently to set up stuff. And at the same time, if they stay in the room, they would just get bombed by the Pharah, and they would just lose shields consistently and just be drained for resources. What the enemy team should do is they should try to be super aggressive. If they try to rotate, which is the obvious thing that a lot of teams will do in these scenarios, will try to rotate stairs. we have more setups. Now, depending on where Ana is standing, if our Ana has time, we can actually nade them during that rotation. Our Pharah will, of course, rotate and sit on top of them. There is a roof here that she can use. Sit on top of them and shoot directly down on them. Our Orisa and Sigma will, of course, start off-angling from different angle, maybe together with our Sigma. At the same time, we have Doomfist. We can also start slamming at this area, right? So we can catch them in this choke. We can catch them in the entry of the point. And the whole point is just to drain them from resources, right? We just want to drain out the resources. So when our Orisa drops, she has 45 shields. We have all our abilities ready, up and going. And there's been a lot of potential for picks. And their formation must be really weird. Because they will have to go, you know, their tanks have to go in first. The Sigma kind of have to stay back. Then the Lucio needs to do a rotation, but the Moira also need to do a rotation, not get caught out, most likely to burn Fade, right? And they then need to go onto the point while there is a Pharah, a Ana that is like pocketing our guys, a Pharmacy that's over them, and the Doomfist either attacking the main group, the rotation area, or the setup in the choke, right? It's very difficult for them to do because there's so much pressure on all the sides. The Doomfist can hit almost anywhere they go. The Pharah will constantly just be following them, just bombing past their shields and just bombing straight down on them, forcing out death. At the same time, they need to brawl this triple comp of the Ana, the Sigma, and the Orisa, just without the Ana looking for nade opportunities to nade their entire team, right? And there's no D.Va now to eat the nades. Like, then Sigma has to commit his entire eat and hope that he can snatch it, which is very difficult for him. It's very easy to avoid it. So there's no D.Va to eat nades anymore, right? Utilizing that as well. Pushing under is a death sentence, as the Pharah will be allowed to bomb them from like here all the way to the point. Sigma, now our Doomfist of course will be allowed to slam down on them, as he always is. Our Sigma will be allowed to spam on them, and as they get on here, it's the same thing. Like this is just this upper rotation is just a safer version of this under rotation, right? And rotating left side will lead to the same. A constant bombardment from the Pharah attacking the backline and the front line. Doomfist constantly looking for opportunities, can easily go in and out. Sigma standing on top of them, just shooting down on them here. We can deny the choke there, right? And then they have to rotate onto the point. This is very difficult to play against, and that's what makes the team composition so fucking powerful. Playing this team composition, the one thing that they can try to do if they wanna, is they can try to get up through, just so you guys know how to play a little bit against it, get up through here, set up quickly, not waste a shield, shield far, rush, teleport in the Reaper, set the Doomfist as a setup either through main or just through straight here behind the shield, set up and just like rush and then try to brawl us. At that point we want to give space at that point, or we want to hold with Fortify and then let our Pharah deal enough damage, right? So this is very reliant on our Doomfist looking for opportunities and our Pharah constantly harassing. So let's take a look at how this works in game. Okay, let's see. Yeah, sure. Let's just, I'm actually going to turn off some of the audio here because it's going to just muffle my speech. There we go. Okay. So you can see here's our standard setup. Let's just put on some icons here for a second. So this is our setup right now, right? You can see how we kind of just scattered our entire team here at the front just to keep our damage. Our Pharah is a little bit scared in case they are running Widows, so she's kind of just playing here, looking for what they have, so she can just deal early damage without getting caught out in case they run something that can actually deal with her. Also including Sombra, so she wouldn't want to fly over here in the beginning when we don't know what they're running. They're trying to do a rotation. Our Pharah is a little bit passive, but again, it's just to stay safe, so it's fine. We tried to nade. We actually get one of them naded. If that had been larger nade, of course, this would could have been devastating for them. But yeah, they're pushing, and then we do our rotations, right? Notice immediately we do our rotations. The enemy teams have set up, and again, notice the setup here. Now, our Orisa is currently holding a little bit far forward. She's going to give space as soon as possible. Let's see, right around here, right? A little bit of a slow disengage from us, but now notice this. We have already starting our setup. We have the Pharah on the right side. The enemy team is caught in here. And this engage from the opposing team, including the fact that we set the Doomfist, is quite difficult for them to do. Oh, what the fuck? Nice. So much for me specking. Okay. Right, so they're trying to push in here. And again, notice, immediately as they try to set up a shield that is outside of the room to actually claim space, they will get hurled with rockets from this side, and they can't just counter the Pharah because the Pharah is so close to a wall that they can't really shoot up on her to catch her, and she can use the wall to just push herself into combat if needed, right? So they have that while we still have a Doomfist that is looking for setups, right? Anything that comes out here is easily dived by him and the Pharah, right? While there's a Sigma in front. And on top of that, if they try to engage us with their Doomfist, we can just easily counterpunch, right? So you can just notice how this is playing out. They are not currently able to engage because they are constantly using their shields to defend themselves. This is kind of them doing passive. The Doomfist kind of feeds. This is actually really bad play from the opposing team, if you notice how they play. Because they don't notice how they're playing very passive. So they're playing into our playstyle, which is really good for us. This is like a mistake from them. Notice how the Doomfist charges a rocket punch in front of our team, right? But again, he tries to do that and we just counter punch. The Reaper tries to engage and they lose, right? Notice the Pharaoh got like 4 kills there. 5 actually. Yeah, 4 kills, right? Then we're chasing the Sigma into spawn. And notice the ult shots difference. We have Barrage. We are closing up on. We're halfway to Nano. We're getting some of that. They have Coalescence, and that's it, right? They're not even close to anything. They're like 80, 20, some almost 30 on some barrier, right? This also really hard counts because when we are playing passive like that and the enemy team does not dare to go and engage heavily on us, that's the problem. And now we are playing proper with the Pharaoh, right? You can see how much we are punishing this engage. We should have maybe punched a little bit more on the wrist that gets anti here, but notice how much we're just bullying them, right? And again, we will just rotate backwards, give it more space this time, a proper shield management. This is the first time they play this team composition, as some of these guys are tryout, Oversoul is tryout, Sting is tryout, Hot is tryout, all of those are tryout. So half the team is in tryout right now, from our side, right? They try to shield the Orisa, which of course just allows the Pharaoh to go in. The Pharaoh will barrage the entire enemy team, right? And well, yeah, that's a pretty easy cleanup. They try to fortify. Now it's just really stagger fest. They do manage to get one of our players, which is not very good for us. But because they use so long time on dying, right? It's fine. Our Ana actually gets caught out of position here, which is actually a problem for our Ana, because if you notice what they were doing during this engage, let me see, I'll scoop a little bit back. When they were doing their rotation, if you notice where the Doomfist were positioning himself, if I can get there, right? Notice during their rotation, right? They engage with Coalescence, we power up the barrage, and so on. Their Orisa is super far on the point, and our tank line rotates really poorly here. As you can see, our Sigma gets pushed down. I think he said he got pushed down, but I'm not sure if he actually dropped or got pushed because there's not really much to push him. And our Orisa is therefore very late on this rotation here to help him. Meanwhile, their Doomfist is over here, trying to push in on our Ana. And you can see how that works out for him. He's gonna push, he's gonna nade himself, then sleep him, right? Which is really good from our Ana. But then our Ana drops here. Instead of rotating through main and then going to our team, he should rotate there. Which is just positioning mistake, right? Like, this is not ideal with her over there. We wanted her over on our side, even though there's a Reaper on the point. We'd rather want her on our side where we can help and peel than over here away, especially when he is slept and we won't do anything about it, really, when our Pharaoh dies, right? So he's gonna kill her. It doesn't really matter at this point because notice how long time they use on staggering himself. The Doomfist, even though we have comms, he's gonna stagger himself here and like try to get out and so on. We're just pushing his spawn because there's no one else to peel him, right? So because he staggered himself, it doesn't really matter that we have late spawns now because we have one late guy, so who cares, right? And now the Doomfist has to come back, which is just going to be late. And because the engage is so slow, yes, we won't have an opening nade, but it doesn't matter. So here, if the Doomfist had died faster, maybe they could have actually done something, right? Now they're pushing and Ana's already back, right? They try to shield. Again, notice how difficult it is for the Sigma to shield the Pharaoh, because it's not only shielding the Pharaoh, he also needs to shield our Orisa during this rotation, because they can't commit with Orisa shield. So he needs to shield our Orisa, our Pharaoh, and also try to block nades, right? Which is not possible because the Sigma shield is not good enough for that, right? They go under, we nano, and the Doomfist are cleaning up. Our Pharaoh can go aggressive, right? Again, there's not really much they can do about this, and it's a free cleanup. Notice that the amount of ultimates that we have, it's insane. This team composition is really strong. Played against correctly. What the enemy team will do on other maps is they will try to counter us. First, they will try to mirror comp us. Later on, they will try to play Widow into us to kind of just hard counter. On certain maps like Elios Runes, they will try to play Widow against us. So what we do is that we counter pick Widow. So we play Pharaoh Widow, which is very unorthodox in this meta. We play Pharaoh Widow into Widow Doomfist. Because at that point, our Widowmaker is just set to zone, so our Pharaoh has a lot of space. And our Pharaoh will just clean up. You can notice that the Doomfist can't do a lot about this. The Reaper can't do a lot about this. Their entire DPS lineup is very useless comparatively to ours, right? Our DPS lineup, our Doomfist can play defensively. He can also play offensively. Our Pharaoh can play defensively and offensively, just keep them low. At the same time, it's difficult for them to push us. It's difficult for them to do it, but we can push them as much as we really want, Right now we're just gonna commit with everything and just win, because it's last fight. Right, so we commit with we commit with actually every ultimate that we have, and everything except Nano, which we used last fight, which we're up now. Right, so it's kind of like we just won off ultis there. But this is the power of this team composition. It's really strong, and this is about not just playing the meta. There's a lot of teams that only want to play Reaper Doomfist because that's the meta, right? And just noticing that, okay, but Pharah is free. So if you have a really good Pharah player, this is insanely busted. The amount of crossfire you can do, it's really difficult to do anything about it, especially if your DPS and your supports know how to play against it, right? Because if you have good supports, like the Ana can sleep and nade, so you can't really win. Our Rissa and our Sigma can easily peel for each other and make sure that their DPS line cannot push in on us. Rotations are impossible for them to do. Standing still won't lend them anything. They can't have a poke comp against our Pharah when they're running a brawling comp. And they can't really do much when it comes to engaging us either, as we can very easily peel for ourselves. So it's a very busted team composition. Our Doomfist can just play behind the shield, just wait for the enemy team to either rotate, then attack, or for them to push us, and then he will use his counter rocket punch to deal with their rocket punch, or he will push the Reaper out, or push the Sigma away. And especially since there's high ground control, we are playing two people that can easily knock people off high ground as well. So we can easily control high ground. So in theory, we can push half their, like a Pharah can concuss half their team off that high ground, if needed. Really strong team composition. I hope you guys like these kind of videos. Tell me down below what you guys think. Is there some team composition that you guys want me or someone else to check out? I'm thinking about talking with some team and just for fun, running community suggestions. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that because there's some realism, but do you like these kind of videos where I break down what we run in Scrims and why we run it and so on? I would like to hear that down in the comment section. Of course, subscribe, bell notification, always help out the channel, and a like on the video helps out the abusive algorithm to not be so abusive towards me, so I would like that. If you guys could save me, that's very, very nice. Very nice. Besides that, if you guys want to hire me as a private coach, it's 50 euros for a 2-hour session. Doesn't matter if you're bronze or top 500, if you play for a team or not. Hit me up in the description down below. There's a link to our Discord server, so you can just hit me up there. But yeah, as always, guys, please take care of yourselves, stay positive. I love you guys very, very much. And as always, keep the enemy in your crosshair.